it doesn't survive. So, of course, the obvious reading, the literal reading, is that it means, you know, work in the world.
Yeah.
Again, for the reasons that we've outlined. If you're not in the world, you can't. You know, it's like those hermit. The truth, that's the joke in all those cartoons. The hermit sitting on the top of the mountain doesn't really know anything.
Right.
He's not involved with with the real struggles of the universe. But you can also say that the Hasidic reading of it is that Torah that doesn't have work. It's not. These things are not immediate. There's spiritual work that needs to be done. That needs to be struggled through. It's just not. It's not real Torah if you didn't have to work through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly the Jewish attitude. Yeah, you earn your way in the Torah view on life.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the alternative is.
The alternative is that salvation comes from above and it's all given to you as a free gift. Or the alternative is that the great obstacle in life is pride, and you just have to submit yourself to the divine. And
my friend had a great take on that. He said that he's a family law guy, and I'm not disparaging or anything, but and I don't mean this. I don't want anybody to get offended, but he said that. But I think that everything has there's challenges to everything, and so he said that this thing about grace, this kind of the Protestant thing, right, where Catholicism has works.
Yeah.
But in certain streams of particularly American Protestantism, it's kind of like, you're okay with Jesus and it's fine. So he used to say that this line that he would hear all the time is like, I'm okay with Jesus, why do I have to pay alimony?
One rabbi once said it's very hard to love both God and people. Like if you're in love with God, you're probably much less likely to care about human suffering. And if you care about human suffering and paying your alimony, you're much less likely to be in love with God.
Well, my argument from the first thing that I said today is entirely antithetical to that.
So, do you love God?
I'm working on it.
So does it come naturally to you to love God?
These things are, in the Jewish, spiritualistic tradition, I don't know what you want to call it, these things are parallel motions. Love for God is love for people, is love for yourself. These things, Olam Shana Nefesh, all of these things parallel one another. So you are the same universe. It's like a fractal, like a Mandelbrot thing. What you are in your self, the same conflicts that you have within yourself are the same conflicts between mankind and the conflicts in the greater evolution of the universe. So it's a flaw, right? I mean, that's like all these Hasidic stories about the guy who, if you can't feel the suffering of somebody like a mile away, then you can't call yourself a spiritual person. Like what's that line about one of the later Hasidic masters about being able to, you could feel the pain of every woman going into pregnancy in the immediate surroundings of or the famous, the Kedushat Levi, Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, like, stopping davening because there was some shepherd boy in the back or something who was unable to pray or things, or who disappeared from his kehillah on Yom Kippur on the holiest night because there was a baby that didn't have a babysitter.
Yeah.
Or an abandoned child. So no, I think that's our talk for Bet Chanan. The Echad that's the meditation on Echad, the central prayer that we say. He said it's all together. They're not separable. And that's our spiritual practice. Our spiritual practice, learning Gemara and stuff like that, learning Shulchan Aruch. They are, I lived with Yemenites, and they're amazing. They read Rambam, spirit. You have a mystical experience from reading halacha with them. It just becomes this like transcendent thing. They see it.
How do you get a transcendent experience reading halacha with Yemenites? What do they do differently?
Let's go.
It's much
I'll take you there.
It's much more natural to them because they. Why? How is it different with the Yemenites?
It's a sensitivity. That's how they read it. They sing it. It's incredible. They have tunes for Mishnah.
Mishnah is the compendium of the oral tradition.
So they sing it, and they can, obviously I'm making a gross statement, but you can feel this, and they read like the Rambam mystically. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. I think. Look, there's a wonderful sefer. The name of it's because it'll come to me, where all the laws in the Shulchan Aruch are read Kabbalistically.
Wow.
What's it called? The Torah Bareket, something like that. It can be done. The Gra said, Vilna Gaon. Forget about so-called. He was a unbelievable mystic, right? But we don't, in our imagination, we don't see him that way. We see him as a man of science.
Right.
He said that there can be no contradiction between halacha and Kabbalah. That mysticism and social law, religious law are unified. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's the echad. Again, I keep saying this.
Okay, great. Thank you. Dr. Kirschbaum, check him out on Tikkun magazine website, tikkun.org.
Yeah. I never pay attention. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, for his weekly Torah commentary. And this week's Torah portion, VIII Hanan, basically chapter 3, verse 23.
And can I give a teaser for what'll probably maybe our last one before I move? So next week it'd be nice to talk about. We'll get a little feminist and talk about Tu B'Av and women's role in Judaism and such things. How does that sound?
Sounds great to me. Nobody's a bigger feminist than Luke Ford.